Looking back at my 19 years, I noticed that the person I've become is because of the people I surround myself with and my own life experience. Growing up, I was an only child for the first 6 years, and I learned a lot from my family. My parents taught me about giving back, volunteering, and being inclusive at a very young age. My family and friends have played a big role in my past and present when it comes to my values. If I had to pick a few values that I had when I was little, I would say faith, inclusion, and kindness are the three that really stand out to me when I look back at little Emma. Since I grew up in the Catholic Church, many of my values have come from this. Faith was and still is a very important value to me. And because of this, I might see things or deal with things differently than others I will be working with in the future. Standard 117 is about professional service no matter an individual's gender, race, religion, etc. I must be able to follow this standard and not let my religious beliefs affect the way I handle things. I must respect others' beliefs, even if they aren't like mine, and support them as a professional in the future. I realize I need to make the DSW value of self-awareness important in the future so I can understand and put my biases and religion aside when supporting people. I need to focus on this value in the future and follow the standards of the DSW so the individuals I can support will have a professional. As I grew up, there were many events that changed and strengthened my values, from having two little sisters to volunteering. There are many events I could talk about that would show and explain me and my values, but because you don't have all day to sit here and listen to me talk, I've picked 3 events that I think are not only important to my past, but to my future. The first event from my past is getting diagnosed with my learning disability. In grade 4, I got diagnosed, and because of this, my mom taught me at a very young age about self-advocacy. Over the years, I learned that determination was very important for me. I think what I learned most about my values from this event is that you can't be afraid to advocate for something you need or something you want, no matter what stands in your way. You will be able to achieve it. In Chapter 2 of Human Services, That Must Be So Rewarding, the book goes back to the ongoing story of Diane. After doing one of those activities in the book, she learns about limitations she never saw in her daily life and how people talk down or talk simpler to her because of her injury. I understood what she was going through. When I got diagnosed with my learning disability, I started using my IEP and I saw the flaws and limitations in the school system. As well as when I'd mentioned to someone that I had a learning disability, I was talked to differently, as if in the 5 seconds it took me to tell them I had one, I had lost the ability to grasp what they were saying and teaching. I feel that this experience will help me as I go into placement this semester. I realize that because of this diagnosis and my values of advocacy, I will be able to use this to my advantage in the future as a DSW. I will be able to use my value and my DSW value of empowerment to promote self-confidence and educate and encourage those to be their own self-advocate. The second event from my past is playing competitive soccer for over 10 years. Being part of a family and a group of girls that all want the same thing is amazing. Many of my favorite memories growing up are related to soccer, thanks to the many life lessons I've learned, like don't give up, be tough and be fair, and try your hardest no matter what. I came out with some great values. The most important value I feel that I took away from soccer is balance. I learned the importance of balancing school, friends, work, and other sports and soccer. I had lots of practice with it. I remember one year, the only night I had free out of the whole week was Wednesday. I believe that this balance of value and the practice that I've had with it will give me the power to separate my work life and my personal life in the future. In Chapter 1, it says, when you work in human services, you can't punch out. I understand your work follows you home, but I hope my practice with balance will help me succeed in this area. Like the book says, we must meet personal needs or our professional needs can suffer. When I read this, it really brought forward how important having balance is as a value. My experience with soccer and balance will help me be a more effective DSW in the future so I can separate my work life and home life and be able to support the individuals to the best of my abilities. The final event for my past is deciding to raise money for a school in Uganda. My teacher was showing us a few pictures of a school she was going to be working at over the summer. And when me and a couple of the other students saw the living conditions and the school conditions, we knew something had to change. I thought, everyone deserves the same opportunities that we have here in Canada. So we started making homemade bracelets and raised enough money to buy rubber bracelets with the school's name on it, and we sold them. We raised a good amount of money that would go directly to the school. That same year for Christmas, I told my mom about Plan Canada program and donated goats to families in third world countries as gifts. These events shaped my values for social justice. Social justice is one of the 5 values of a DSW. This value will help me be a more effective DSW because the events that I've been through, I can see the unfair and unjust events that happen in this field. Human services is an area where we need more social justice. And if I can use my experience and knowledge that I've learned and bring that to the DSW field and give those I support a more equal chance in society, then I will and I won't be afraid to stand up. After seeing what goes on in the world, and especially in this community, social justice is a value I will try to educate those I support so that they will be able to be advocates themselves. After looking at the events and experiences that I've been through, I've had to pick out the people who were important as I grew up. Hands down, my family, from my parents to my sisters to my extended family, they have all supported me and helped me become who I am today. Still today and into the future, my family will be the most important people in my life. However, I have some new people to add to this list of importance. My boyfriend, Matthew. He's not only amazing and caring, but we share some of the same values with each other. He supports me and gives me confidence that I never thought I would have. But Matthew's family has also become a group of important people in my life. They welcomed me into their family and have always supported me. It's crazy to think that I have 2 families who support and influence me every day. I'm so blessed to be surrounded by the people I love so much. When looking at all of these people and trying to pick someone who has had the biggest influence in my life, I came to the realization that soccer has had a big influence in my life. Not only did soccer teach me about myself, it also taught me about how to work with others in stressful situations. When you give your life to something, the impact it has on everything you were and will be is huge. Thanks to soccer, I have great social skills, and I understand that things can go bad, but you must push through them. I will take what I learned from my family in soccer and use them to make me an effective DSW in future. So far, you have probably picked up that soccer is a hobby, or more of a lifestyle of mine. But today my hobbies and interests veer out from soccer. I'm actually very into drama and acting. In high school, I was in my school's production of The Odd Couple, and before that, I was in a couple other performances. Drama brought me happiness and a new set of skills. One of my favorite things about drama is the laugh I get to bring to others who watch my work. From drama, my interest in videography and photography blossomed. Like drama, it brought me happiness. As my interest turned into more of a hobby, I fell in love with the creative aspect of it. After putting in hours of editing to see the result, I learned that good things take time. I found that like drama, videography and photography both brought me the thing I liked most, a smile. I hope that these hobbies can bring laughter and excitement into my future. When I look at myself today, I would like to think that I haven't changed much and that my values are still very similar, although I have added new ones. A few of the values I've added are respect, self-growth, and independence. My value of respect will make me a more effective DSW because that's the first thing every person deserves. In Chapter 2, John Young talks about a difficult time where he needed to remember his values on privacy. In this field, privacy is something every DSW must respect. From placement last year, I saw lots of gossip and private information being shared about individuals from staff to staff. I think my value of respect will affect me in a positive way, because if I don't respect someone's privacy, not only would I feel guilty about sharing that information, but I would be going against DSW's standard of practice 413, as I would be sharing information without consent. Continuing off of what John said, Kathy Phelps makes a great point as she says, "Remember that it really is a privilege to be in the room with them." This quote really This quote really brings forward the importance of respect in Standard 413 when I look at being an effective and good DSW in the future. Respect is a basic human right, and I want the individuals who I support to feel that, as a DSW, I am respecting them and their privacy. Before I talk about my future, I want to touch on the test we took in class last week. I personally found that my results were somewhat skewed because I picked neutral for a lot of my answers, but that's because I am a very chill person. Not much bothers me and not much excites me. When I was reading over my results, however, I found that I was just below average on a lot of things. I was only average on, or just above average, on 6 out of the 14 values. My top 3 values, however, were prestige, structure, and altruism. I did agree with structure and altruism, as I like to have framework and help others as much as I can. I think what made this assignment so hard for me was the fact that their structure was very open. I like the creative element of it, but when it comes to school, I like my rules. I think that I know having these values of altruism and structure will help me in the future to be an effective DSW, as I know a lot of group homes and many individuals I will be supporting enjoy structure to a certain point. My value for altruism goes hand in hand with being a DSW. I, like most DSWs, are in this field to help others. However, I don't think prestige is a value I have. I don't care what others think about my career. I do, however, care what I think about my career. I want to do something I believe is doing good in the world. Right now, I'm at a very crazy time in my life. Matt is 4 hours away from me. I don't see my family and friends as much as I wish I did, and my focus is on school. But in all of that, I still stay true to myself. I've been making the hard decision on what and where I want to go after I finish the DSW program. In high school, I struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I think it took me so long to figure it out because for once, I had to put myself first when making a decision. I've thought about occupational therapy for a long time, although I always had a couple other ideas. But I'm going to tell you about an important event that has happened to me just a few months ago that really proves to me that OT is for me. I don't want to sound dramatic or anything, but after this event happened, OT seemed like my only option. So one day I was on Facebook like I normally do, and a video came up on my feed. And I can't remember the exact caption, but I clicked on it. And the video was of a man standing for the first time after an accident to kiss his wife. And I started watching it, and I saw the happiness in the couple's eyes. But most importantly, I saw the occupational therapist in the background with the biggest smile on his face. And I'm not joking when I say I started bawling. I thought to myself, this is what I need to do with my life. I want to give people that hope and excitement. I was so happy that this man could give this couple happiness and hope that I knew this is what I needed to do. I'm not joking when I say that at that moment, I knew I needed to be an occupational therapist. After this happened, I told my boyfriend, and when I did, I started crying just talking about it. I went on to him for 20 minutes on why I needed to become an OT, and that I knew it would be hard, but I knew it would be worth it. I said I had to do it. There was no other option. After all that, he said to me, "That's what I really love about you. You're so selfless, and you do anything for anyone." What I learned from this very important moment for not only my present life, but for my future life, was that I needed to bring people hope. In the future, I hope to strengthen my values of hope in the giving of it and empowerment. My values of hope and giving hope relate to the DSW Standard of Practice 112, which talks about DSWs facilitating self-determination. A value and a goal of mine in the future is to bring hope to those I support, which is giving them the power to be self-determined. And a good DSW should want this for the people they support. And I hope I can be that DSW and that occupational therapist that people need. I also want to gain the value of meaningful work. When I was reading the text, a lot of different areas stuck out to me in my future values of meaningful work. In chapter 2, the book says, it's important to take yourself seriously. This stuck out to me because if I want to be an effective DSW and occupational therapist in the future, I need to take the work that I'm doing seriously and not let others push me around or make a joke of it. I need to take myself seriously so I can promote self-determination to those I support. As I look back on what I had just read, I started to think about what Ellen said, to put it in its simplest terms, was passionate. Find a job you're passionate about, which made me think, I'm passionate about what I'm doing right now, and I know I'm going to be passionate about what I'm doing in the future. I will be able to provide quality support to those I work with. I got into this field for the right reasons. After reading Elaine's story, I feel proud to say that I got into a field that I'm passionate about. I know that in the future this will help me to not only be an effective DSW, but an effective occupational therapist. I will be supporting others, which will bring meaning to me, which will make the effort and love that I put in to what I'm doing for people that much stronger. One more thing I should mention before I tell you about my future goals is my future value of traveling. Traveling will be a big value in my future, as I've always wanted to see the world, and I'm making it a value to see what this beautiful planet has to offer. Saying this, I want to be able to continue my OT work as I travel. Lately, I've been thinking about spending time in third world countries and giving them occupational therapists and DSW assistance with no charge. Okay, now it's time for my future goals. My first SMART goal is by the year 2024, I want to be a registered occupational therapist. And I will do this by getting my master's in occupational therapy after finishing my undergrad. My second SMART goal is by the year 2030, I want to travel the world while helping those in third world countries. I will do this by giving free occupational therapy and DSW care to the people in these areas for no charge. As I read the DSW standards of practice, one stood out to me. Although one of my goals is to give free occupational support and services, occupational therapy has fees and other services attached to it. Since I want to do it for free, Standard 613 stood out to me. This standard is about giving a written agreement with costs and services on it before working with individuals. Before I can give people this free care, I need to have a written agreement that states there is no charge in the services that I will actually be providing. This standard will be able to positively affect those that I work with, as there won't be any hidden fees and they won't be scared or stressed during the whole process. Well, it's the end of the video now, but before I head out, I thought I should answer your final question, the question I spent the most amount of time on. I have literally spent hours trying to figure out what song or movie I think represents me as a person. I would just like to say, wow, okay, this was a hard one. But after asking others their opinions, I have come up with the song Lean on Me by Billy Withers. This song represents me because to a certain aspect, I get what it's like to go through hard times, but I push myself through them. Most importantly, I'm here to help others through those times. In high school, I was always my friend's go-to if they needed help, and I'm always there for anyone. I want to help and support people so that not only will they have good days, but they'll have good lives. I'm social, and I understand, and I'm ready to listen and take the weight of someone's stress off them to help them get there, wherever they're going.